Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Well, I'm sure you've noticed a couple of things today. Well, Mr. Otis is unfortunately not here today. I do have some grim news about Mr. Otis. Nothing really bad, tragic, or anything like that. But yeah, Otis was a bad doggy today. Like right before I came to film this video, he was very bad. For those of you who are interested in knowing what he did, I will post the little story about what happened with Mr. Otis today at the very end of this video. Now, with that aside, I'm wearing a beautiful red wig today because let me tell you something, my hair is a hot mess today. That's the honest truth, okay? So I tried to make something out of this wig, and I think I like it. I think it looks pretty cute. This is the only time I would really wear a wig like this. I mean, come on. Or unless I had an acting gig that required me to strut my stuff looking like a girl that wears her hair like this. That aside, I'm going to be talking today about this whole politics, misinformation, why Harry and Meghan are so grim in all of their attempts with their Netflix that they're doing, this 2-show deal. I think I'm going to talk more about that later, but a little bit here and talking about how they are getting into politics and the impending disaster around Harry and Meghan in politics. It's just a hot mess, honey. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is what's happening. Harry and Meghan, and then first let's just get something straight. When we say Harry and Meghan, there's all these stories about Harry and Meghan this, Harry and Meghan that. No, first of all, Harry is checked out. Harry is checked out. He is trying to remain afloat for the sake of making money because he knows he needs to make money because at the rate they are spending it, it's going to be gone before you know it. And so they are trying to stay afloat with this whole coupling of this branding of Harry and Meghan together and doing what they're doing. So much so that they're going to be coming out with this new Netflix show that's going to be Meghan doing her cooking and her flowers and her, her la-di-da domestic stuff. And then Harry's going to be doing stuff around polo, behind the scenes of the game of polo. Something that, of course, is close to Harry because, I don't know nothing about polo. I'm just looking and thinking, okay, he's on a horse hitting a ball, okay? But this is something that Harry does. We've seen him play, and this is a passion. Now, how you make that into a recurring show where you're making money continually doing it, I don't know, but they're pulling, trying to come out, pull something from their butts to do because Netflix needs them to do something before their contract is up. We know that Netflix really wanted a fly on the wall series with the children. Meghan and Harry did not want to do that because there's so much secrecy about that. There's so much, even if it's just not wanting to show their children, there's just a lot of secrecy. There's a lot of hidden images and things that they do around these children. And so they wanted to prevent it at any means necessary. They did not want to have to do what Netflix really wanted them to do. So this is what they were able to pull out of their butts to do. And okay, Netflix was like, okay, because they've got some pretty decent people who have credentials producing their episodes for Netflix. But we have to wait and see what comes out with it. I think it's just, trying to grab to do something because time is running out and they need to do this before the contracts are up. And we'll have to wait and see if it's any good. But, when I say that and I look at what Harry and Meghan are doing now around politics, I want to always go back to what I've always said, why I speak about this, because I want to be that piece of spinach between Meghan's teeth that she cannot remove until she learns how to do the right thing. She needs to be better by people. This is not a woman that is just behaving badly, la-di-da, okay, forget what she's doing, and just kind of look the other way. You have to keep your eyes on this woman because she is trying to do everything she can to interfere with what people have the right to do. And this whole thing around them being around politics and misinformation is only a sign that they are trying to create waves to affect us Americans, people who have the freedom of speech. Because you think about all the things that she tried to control within the royal household, why we had these bullying allegations, and the information that came out around the emails, which I'm going to be talking about. You can see this is someone who is sculpting and trying to make an influence that can affect a lot of people. So we can't just look and say, okay, forget you. Go do what you're going to do, girl. I'm not paying attention to you and doing the other thing, because you turn your back. And this woman who is climbing a ladder, and we've seen by how she's treated her friends and her family. It's only a climb to the next level to get to a place of power. And when she's in a place of power, what does she do? She has a history of misbehaving and trying to disregard, control people, bully them, create their lives, make their lives very difficult by her power. And because she's now trying to get into this realm of politics, it's only to get to a level of power where she can influence the likes of myself and other people who speak out against her. Because she's been doing this. We know she's been doing this. She's even gotten people like Piers Morgan fired from his job. I mean, really, folks. So when you really look at what Meghan is doing, she is trying to have a real hand effect into the everyday lives of people, of the monarchy, of all things. So you can't dismiss it. You have to be that piece of spinach in between her teeth that keeps her reminded that you better not smile and try to think you're going to do something and get away with it, because I'm going to be that reminder that you can't remove, because I see you. I see you, what you are doing. Your history shows us what you are trying to do. But we gotta smack that down. We gotta smack it down. We can't let it grow, because it will have an effect on the unsuspecting people if you allow it to get to where she wants it to go. And we have been making headway with keeping our stories out there to say, we're gonna check you right now. And so this is what we're looking at right now around this whole campaign to fight against election misinformation. So Harry and Meghan, they have launched this campaign to fight against election misinformation around their latest move around politics. There's always been speculation around Meghan and Harry wanting to, or Meghan more specifically, to get into politics. She even hired Obama's PR guru to work on their team about speaking out around the U.S. elections back in 2020. We all remember that. And Harry's just sitting there, twiddling his thumbs, looking like a goofball. And, knowing good and well he should not be talking anything about politics in America with you being a Brit. Like, you have no place to even be saying this information. And then calling our Constitution bonkers around freedom of speech. It just is not okay. And so we know that she also was involved, Meghan was involved with Gloria Steinem, and she worked with her around getting Americans to vote. Gloria Steinem was also quoted to say that, Meghan came home to vote. The first thing we did, she says, is that she came to see me. We sat at the dining room table where I am right now. She mentions when she gave this quote, and they were cold calling voters. And now it seems the couple are once again waiting in the political world as their foundation launches a campaign against election misinformation. A report by Axios detailed how a bipartisan coalition with support from Hollywood power players, Harry and Meghan's Archewell Foundation, is working to prepare U.S. voters for a possible deepfake onslaught during the election year. Now, according to these reports, experts are predicting malicious state actors, domestic political operatives will use deep fake tech and other media manipulation to confuse voters during the U.S. election campaign. Google, Meta, and OpenAI are all pledging to combat deceptive AI election content, while 2 adverts have been produced by Jesse Dillon and Bob Dylan's son Bob Dylan's son, not and Bob Dylan, to raise awareness for the issue. Now, meanwhile, Harry and Meghan, their organization Archewell, is helping to brainstorm new content. Really? For real, for real? You're going to brainstorm content? I mean, we have to address Harry and Meghan's misinformation, because they have their own misinformation, and how you can involve a couple and their side hustle of a foundation that they barely are known to work on behalf of can be a part of politics and campaigns to brainstorm ideas when they are the biggest liars of them all. Shall we remember? Shall we reminisce on what they have done? Absolutely. So let's just take a look at what Meghan and Harry have done in the past. For those of you who don't remember, information came out from Jason Kanoff that released old emails that Harry and Meghan had sent to Jason Kanoff during the lawsuits around the newspapers that happened a few years ago. And from this discovery, we were able to find information that came out through discovery where Harry and Meghan were very deceptive. Harry and Meghan gave misinformation. Basically, Harry and Meghan lied. Blatantly lied. And then when they got caught, they lied again and said, oops, I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember. Oh, really? You don't remember? How can you not remember sending multiple emails to Jason Kanoff about your information that you wanted in the book Finding Freedom? Now, this is what I find interesting, because all along, while working with Carolyn Durant and Omid Scobie on this book, Finding Freedom, behind the scenes, Harry and Meghan were emailing their assistant, Jason Kanoff, to give information to the authors to write in the book. They were being fed information and then going in front of the public to say, we have nothing to do with that book. We don't know nothing. We know nothing. We have nothing to do with it. But during the discovery, we find these emails that Jason released. And this is what we all need to remember. This is why we have to be that piece of spinach. We can't let people forget, you got spinach in your teeth. Something wrong. Something is wrong. You hiding something. Because this is what it is. Sorry for filling your inbox with the message I just accidentally sent you both. Blame it on being a Monday. Ha 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 ha. I think definitely share this with Meghan and make the suggestion to her that you have here. She will 100% support it, and I totally agree that we have to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with it. We have to be able to say we had nothing to do with that book, Finding Freedom. We have to be able to say when we go out and people ask you, did you have anything to do with that book, Finding Freedom? Oh, no, we had nothing to do with it. We have to be able to say that. And so how do you think he managed to be able to write this so that he couldn't say to people that he had nothing to do with the book, Finding Freedom? Send it to Jason Kanoff and he can pass it on to the authors. Because technically, Jason Kanoff is the one passing on the information, not Harry and Meghan. But the lie and the deception is that Harry and Meghan gave the information to Jason Kanoff to give to the authors. So when people ask them this question, if they had anything to do with it, they can say, yes, no, we did not. But that is a lie, because they 100% did have something to do with the information that ended up in that book, Finding Freedom. They are like these little trolls, little mouses out there trying to, okay, here's some information. Take this. And they're all, and then they're like clean. We're clean. But back in their deception holes, they're giving information trying to hide from the fact that they are the culprits. Meghan is trying to, put this image out there that seeks to do something that will benefit her as a high-level A-lister. And it's not really truly to help people and to be there for people regardless of how they feel around politics. And I think you have to not take your eye off of the prize when it comes to what Meghan is doing, because she will inadvertently be the one bullying other people, because she's been known to do it to people in her immediate circle. And we know she's looking to do it, my opinion, to people who are vicariously in her circle via freedom of speech. So don't get it twisted, folks. Always remember to be that piece of spinach in between Meghan Markle's teeth, and to not let her get away with all the things she is trying to do around misinformation, because we see where she's coming from. And it's not going to be in the interest of the people if you're not 100% for her. And that right there just tells me everything I need to know about your intentions. We will not let you get away with it. No, we will not. All right. So here's what has happened with my Mr. Otis. Right before I was going to come down and film today, my daughter got out of school early, and her friends, they came over, they brought food, and they went into her room and, having fun and, eating, dancing, doing these things. And Mr. Otis, he wanted to go in there, and I'm working, preparing for my video for today. And Otis is whining. He's upset and just not going to give up that he's just not allowed to go in there. So we put the gate up, and he could not go in there. So I'm getting ready to go get ready to do this video and get Mr. Otis. Come on, Otis, we got to go do my video. And right before, what do I see in front of my daughter's door? I see number 2. And this is part of the hesitancy that I always had around having a dog, was just, I'm just don't want to deal with that in my house. I don't want to deal with that. And Otis is very good about that. Like, he has learned very quickly not to do that in the house. And so it really baffled me that he actually did that. Like, perfectly placed in front of my daughter's door. Like, where did that come from? Not only that, but it looked like the dog completely emptied his bowels. I mean, it was huge. You mean to tell me you just happened to do that in front of the door that you so desperately wanted to get into? And it was an accident? Oh, no. You're very trained. He is on a schedule. He knows when it's time to go do number 2. And it certainly is not inside my house. And so I saw that, and I completely lost my ever-loving mind, folks. He wanted to show me that he wasn't happy. Excuse me. So me and all of my wisdom, I had to put him on a timeout and say that you cannot come to today's taping of the show because you're not being a good doggy. You, as a matter of fact, have really disappointed me. And I just kept thinking, you really are upset. Like, you really are showing me through your behavior that you are not happy. I mean, really, Otis? Really? You're going to do this? You're going to play these games with me? And so, he had to be put in a timeout. He is in a timeout right now because he tried to show me who the boss was. And I'm sorry, but Otis is not going to show me that he is going to do that when he is upset. He's just not going to be it. He's just not going to be allowed to do that when he's upset with me or his housemates, his sister, whatever. He cannot do these things. It's not allowed. Really, Otis? Really? You're that upset that you're going to do that? Okay. I'm sorry, but yeah, that was just not okay, Otis. Not okay. And I guess he tried to show me, didn't he, folks? Oh my goodness. Whew. This dog is really trying to send a message, and you almost have to just kind of laugh and think, really? You're going to do that to send a message? And that's what it is, folks. But I'm sure he is going to learn that that's not okay, because he couldn't come today to the filming, because he usually knows it's fun time, it's treat time afterwards. So yeah, that's why Mr. Otis was not with me today.